Good morning, everyone. I am on a walk with my dog, Evie, and I'm going to try to run through all the questions for the audiobook tag. So, the first question of this tag is, do you listen to audiobooks? If not, why not? And I really like that addition. But yes, I listen to audiobooks, I would say almost exclusively for my reading the past few years. And I will get into why that is. But yes, absolutely. I love listening to audiobooks / reading audiobooks because they count as reading. The next question is, how has your audiobook use changed? And I would say that over the past few years, I've been in a car a lot more than maybe I ever have been in my life. And I live in an area where it takes you several kilometers to get anywhere, and there's no such thing as public transport. So I can't sit on a train or in a ride share or on a bus and sit and read an ebook or a physical book. So I exclusively almost listen to audiobooks because, first of all, it's something that I can do while I'm driving. I feel a lot less lonely when I'm driving long distances and I can listen to an audiobook. And I'm able to reach my reading goals without having to sacrifice doing other things. With audiobooks, I can still read and read pretty voraciously. When I was completing my master's, I drove from the rural area that I live in for about 2 hours one way to get into town, into the city, because I went to U of T. And then once I was in the city, I always had headphones in anyway because I didn't want to talk to anybody on the transit. I wanted to avoid as much negative public interaction as possible. So I really started amping up my audiobook listening at that point, and it's just really continued from there. Next question is, how do you decide? How do I decide what I'm going to listen to versus what I'm going to read? I'll almost always choose the audiobook option if there is one, and if there isn't, so for instance, I'm currently reading The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham, and there's just only ever been a BBC radio adaptation, and that's not page for page the book. So I've never wanted to, I do like dramatizations, but I just wanted to read the actual book. So for that one, I'm reading the ebook. If I don't have a copy of something, I'll tend to just find the ebook. Libby is pretty good for that. Good girl. But yeah, it's basically it's down to what's available. The next question is, do you look into narrators before you listen, or do you go in blind? There's a few things that I do look at. So if I'm reading any Agatha Christie or P.G. Wodehouse, I have some preferred narrators. So for instance, Hugh Fraser, when it comes to Poirot novels, audiobooks, and Richard E. Grant when it comes to Miss Marple audiobooks. Those are my top narrators. And also for P.G. Wodehouse, Martin Jarvis is my favorite narrator. I will listen to other narrators of those audiobooks, but good girl. Yes, girl. I will listen to other narrators of those audiobooks, but those are my preferences. And there's also a narrator I tried reading like listening to a Barbara Pym novel, and there was a narrator that I did not enjoy. So now I watch out for that person's name. And unfortunately, they've done quite a few of the Barbara Pym audiobooks, but not all of them. So we're okay. Good girl. The next question is, do you multitask when audiobooking? Yes, I do. Good girl. I mentioned driving a lot, so that's definitely what I would consider multitasking. But also, doing laundry, washing the dishes, putting dishes away, folding laundry. There's a lot of like domestic tasks. Mowing the lawn is just way too loud. I can't listen to a book or even a podcast while I'm mowing the lawn. But there's like a million tasks in a day that, need to get done. And it's really nice to have an audiobook to listen to and kind of, have a foot in each world, the present menial tasks of my day and whatever story or nonfiction that I'm listening to. The next question is all about series, and I kind of just answered that inadvertently. So, would I switch formats if I started a series as like an audiobook? Would I then go to ebook or physical book? And the answer is if I have to, because not all books are created into audiobooks. So there's a few Jeeves and Wooster books that I've never been able to find as an audiobook. So I just actually last night went through on Libby and like tagged the ebooks for the Jeeves and Wooster books that I have yet to find as an audiobook. So I don't want to, but I'm willing to read it with my own eyeballs. What percent of my books that I'm currently reading are audiobooks? Probably like 85. So I'm listening to Orbital, I'm listening to Divine Might, and last night I just started rereading Aunts Aren't Gentlemen, another Jeeves and Wooster Woodhouse book. And like I mentioned, I'm reading with my eyeballs the ebook of The Day of the Triffids. So, that's 4 altogether. So 3/4. Wow, math. The bonus prompt is, do you have a favorite narrator? I kind of mentioned a few already: Martin Jarvis, Richard E. Grant, Hugh Fraser. And those are for books that I am like regularly rereading as well. But in terms of other books that maybe I've just like listened to the one time, I remember really loving the narrator for Songs of Achilles and Circe. I don't know their names, but they did a bang up job. And I was unofficially tagged in this video, or for this tag, by Ellen of Ellen Made Book Club. And she has a like bonus prompt question, which is, what's so great about audiobooks? Okay, let me wax lyrical just a little bit. Audiobooks are a great way to make reading accessible. I am a public librarian, and I have been for the past 10 years. And, when people disparage any format, any type of book, really gets my goat, because, your gateway into becoming a lifelong reader, a voracious reader, other people don't get to decide what portal you enter that world through. And I find that there's a lot of people who like to prioritize and critique and really disparage or devalue certain formats or types of books. Graphic novels are often disparaged, especially to kids, and I find that very frustrating. You're allowed to read graphic novels at any age, especially as a kid, and that might be the type of book that gets you like into an English literature degree, or makes you want to teach reading and literacy to kids once you're older. Like, there's no right or wrong way to become enamored with the activity that is reading. So audiobooks make reading really accessible, not just to people with maybe vision impairments, but also to people who might have this inner narrative that's been passed down by parents or teachers or whoever, some sort of authority figure that told them that they don't have the attention span, or they're just not really into reading. And maybe that's true for like 5 seconds of your life, but I'm someone who, I really enjoyed reading with my eyeballs very certain and specific titles and book series when I was young. But then once I got into, I'd say, high school, just being told what to read, even though it was for my better, academic self and whatnot, I really resisted that. And I didn't have the option of audiobooks at that time. And I wonder if that would have changed if I had. So there's plenty more wonderful things about audiobooks, but I think I'll wrap it up there. I don't know if you can hear the bird calls, but I'm trying to not make any noise. So beautiful. Okay, thank you so much for watching and joining me. If you have not yet done this tag, I would love it if you tagged yourself. I'll try and go through and add some people to the description. And I hope you do this tag. I'd love to watch it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Good girl. Yum, yum, yum.